What expert camera work by me?
I do apologise for Mr. Hope singing there, ladies and gentlemen.
Anyway, football is back.
Oh, yes. We have returned to London. And Shane wasn't to the intro, but we've stopped him.
It's all right, boys. It's fine. Much like your Pats were stopped yesterday, that's fine. No worries.
Yeah, but I mean, when you're on your third string quarterback, you sort of have to accept that.
Yeah. Evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is Monday night. It is the Third and Long podcast. I am joined by Mr. Hope, Mr. Harris, and no, I will get it that way, Mr. Perrins down under Mr. Hope. That sounds really wrong. How are we, gentlemen? Have we enjoyed a rather high-scoring Sunday night of football?
Well, I missed most of it.
So did I. I probably missed more than you.
I had a dead phone and a 3-hour car journey back.
Yeah, that car journey wasn't fun, was it?
Yeah, you say you probably missed more than me, but I stayed for the duration of the game. So
I left. Admittedly, I had my 10-year-old and my 8-year-old me, and I left with after the Vikings field goal. I wasn't expecting Andy Dalton to make a brilliant play, because I have seen it, to Chris Olave, and then the field goal. To be fair, it was, fair play.
You mean this field goal?
And nail this sucker. Good snap. Good hold. Lets his kick on the way. Oh! And it is off the uprights.
A bit of strong wind, and we be going to overtime.
I was screaming for overtime. I really wanted it.
I haven't seen that many time.
We had some Saints fans in front of us that actually started celebrating because they thought it had gone through.
There was a bloke next to me, missed the second half completely. Don't know where he went. We escaped because of Youngblood. No, we went to escape because the kids needed the loo, and came back and he'd never returned.
Well, I mean, Youngblood wasn't great, but he was better than H.
We've got Youngblood down there. I've realised Phil does look a bit like Mr. Youngblood.
Yeah,
but the thing is, it's like the emo hair and kind of like the whole like hippie lifestyle. Yeah, it's not the first time I get to call that at school as well. Bear in mind, I'm around a bunch of like emo goth kids as well. So yeah.
the thing is, Youngblood knew how to put on a show.
Yeah, that is what is meant to be. He is a showsman, as Phil said on Thursday about Rihanna and the Super Bowl. It is for the non-NFL fans, really, and that's what it was. And it was what, 10-minute show or something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah, it would have been hard to be worse than H.
However, speaking as someone watching it from home, Sky did actively cut away from the show. Yeah, so I think they opened up the first couple of bars, maybe like the first verse of one of his songs, and then they cut back to the studio, and Neil Reynolds was talking about stats instead, which he admittedly said he was more excited about talking about than watching Youngblood. So I thought that was quite. I thought it was quite funny that literally a whole nation of people did not get to see Youngblood, even though that specific input was to watch.
You didn't miss much. I don't think you missed much.
No.
I like Youngblood.
There's only one song I liked with him, and he did that. That's the one he did Bring Me Horizon.
I like Cotton Candy, but then I'm of that kind of like target bracket of his.
But yeah, I also missed it. I also missed it for Toilet Break.
Fair enough. Shall we go on to Thursday night, Mr. Hope?
Yeah, this is one of the only games I've actually seen.
I think I've seen probably many as you have.
I think the first thing we need to talk about is Tua.
Yes.
And it sort of ties up with Sunday night's game and Cameron Brates.
What I don't get with Tua, he is obviously and they said he has had concussion issues since Sunday, and yet they still played him.
Yeah, well, have you heard about Cameron Brate on Sunday Night Football?
No, I've missed this one.
So he was in the game. He then came out the game. He then went back into the game, and then after a few plays was then put in concussion protocols.
As in Cameron Brate, as in the Bucks tight end.
Yeah, so he had a bad play, and you can see him bang his head.
Yeah.
He went out the game. He came back into the game. Then at half time, he was then, during half time, placed in concussion protocols.
That's poor.
Now, since
So
the
that
aftermath
means-
of this, go on.
That must mean that he played on with a concussion.
And yet, Brian
Sometimes,
Hoyer,
according to the organisation, wins are more important than player safety.
and when you look at Brian Hoyer, one play in it said it's a head injury. That's why he didn't come into the game, but it's not said concussion or anything like that. But yeah, it didn't look a big hit. Yes, he had a 300-pound man land on top of his head, but his head didn't bang the ground. So I don't know if they go on overprotections on one side and undercautious on the other side. I don't know.
But yeah, Tua is the one I want to talk about because he had concussion injuries. It was a back injury. No, it wasn't. We all saw it was a concussion last week.
Oh,
And
yeah,
there
no one.
is- And Sunday to Thursday is not long enough for anyone to recover from a concussion.
Oh,
No.
Definitely.
There was like 0% chance he should have been playing.
Irony is he's already been declared out for Sunday.
Oh,
Against the
round
Jets.
of applause for the Miami Dolphins then.
Yes.
Bravo.
Apparently. I mean,
have you seen the press conference from Mike McDaniels on Sunday?
no, I haven't yet.
He was crying. He was like talking about Tua fighting back tears. And I'm like, if you're doing this now, why did you let him play on Thursday? And it's
Yeah,
not like they have a bad backup either. Teddy is like not as bad as a backup quarterback. Teddy, in my opinion, could be starting in 5-6 organizations and would make the team better.
Oh, 100%. 110%. You know, it was. My son's doing a strange dance. He walks past me in the kitchen. Yeah, it was. You know, Teddy is a very, very good quarterback. He is now that backup bridge quarterback along the NFL now. I think, along with probably Andy Dalton, Brian Hoyer, that kind of quarterback. But he's probably better than those two put together.
You need future Hall of Famer.
Hey, Andy Dalton did all right yesterday.
Oh yeah, but you didn't see it.
But yeah, it's, you know, Teddy Bridgewater did all right. His stats are okay. 14 for 23, 193 yards,
I mean,
1 touchdown, 1 interception.
the sad
QBR
thing
rating
about-
of 80.
The sad thing about Teddy is that without that injury, I think he'd be a star of this league.
Yeah. Oh, what?
The one that ruled him out for 2 years.
Yes, for I want to say Washington, but I think that's RG3. I'm thinking of.
Minnesota.
Yes.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Because RG3 was Washington, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was never same after that.
No.
Bengals are back though. 2-2 on the bounce now,
Yeah. Well,
and
they've
against a
actually-
good Miami team.
They've actually learned how to protect their quarterback now.
I know, and it was really, it was good. He had time. I mean, Joe Burrow's had 1 sack and 6 hits.
T. Higgins had a game, didn't he?
Oh my God, yeah. T. Higgins' stats. They were 7 receptions for 124 yards and a touchdown, plus a long of 59 yards.
I mean, there were a lot of people this week that had an absolute game.
Oh my God. I mean, Ollie's changed his player of the week about 5 times this week.
Yeah, that's because I was
Yep.
just watching. I was watching Sunday in 60. I was like, I want him. No, I want him. then I picked the Seahawk and was like, actually, no, there's no chance I can have a sea chicken as my player of the week.
Yeah. It was Rashard Penny at one point, and they decided to change it.
Yeah, I'm glad we're not doing it till Thursday because I'm still not decided.
Oh, most definitely. I mean, Hill. Do we think Hill got the better of Apple in that game? 10 receptions, 160 yards.
No, because in the plays where Hill was against Apple, it was 1 reception for 7 yards.
Most definitely.
So therefore, I think Apple definitely got the better of Hill.
So Eli's Apple's defensive stats were there was 2 tackles, 1 solo. He had no sacks, no tackles for loss, no pass deflections. So he only had the 2 tackles in the game. Von Bell had a very, very good game, mind you. 2 interceptions as well.
Sometimes coverage is enough.
Exactly. Talk about coverage. Shall we go to London's game? And that was probably, if it wasn't for the Lions Seagulls, that would probably be the game of the week.
It's Sea Chickens.
Seagull. Well, my eldest calls them Seagulls.
What a great game it was, guys. It was, and I watched it from home. It was very dramatic and a great finish. As we've said, the double doink. What was the atmosphere like in the stadium? What was it like to be there in person?
It was electric. I know you guys messaged saying it was dead, but I thought it was electric.
From where I was sat, it was a lot better in the second half. A lot better in the second half.
I
when
think
Saints started back into it.
It definitely built up, and once the Saints fans got back into it. But I was sat in an area with a lot of Vikings.
Yeah. I mean, Saints had 14 and a half unanswered points in that second half.
Yeah.
They were a very, very good second half. Andy Dalton did play really, really well, to be fair. He did have a very, very good game. I'm trying to get the
Cook was really quiet. He got no penetration for the entire game.
He didn't get a lot of protection.
Cook.
Oh, Cook. Sorry, I thought you said Kirk.
No.
Dalvin Cook.
Cook got no penetration for the entire game.
20 carries, 76 yards.
Yeah. I'll give you Kirk did. And Jeff, there were some drop passes. I mean, KJ Osborne dropped one.
Jefferson dropped one right in the end zone, right in front of me.
Jefferson actually had 2 drops.
I didn't see. There was one right in front of me. I know that one.
I mean, you say Jefferson's back to form, John, but he dropped one in the end zone and he dropped one on the sideline. One was in the end zone and the other one was a big chunk play. KJ Osborne definitely dropped one. I think Irv Smith dropped one. And I'm not sure if you know the CJ Ham one that was down the sideline?
Yep.
Is that a drop or a bad throw?
6 one, half a dozen the other. I don't think it was, from where I sat, I don't think it was a perfect throw.
No.
From what it looked like, it did look like the receiver had to check up a little bit on him.
The thing is, for CJ Ham to have an easy catch on that play, it would have, because this happened right in front, right in my eye line, it would have had to have been an incredible throw.
I will say, though, how good is Chris Olave? Now, I've seen this guy in the flesh.
Oh, this guy's a monster.
Route running was superb. I mean, you called it, what, last week? You said, this is my rookie I'm watching?
Yeah. I think I called it 2 weeks ago when we decided to basically keep an eye on a rookie each. Chris Olave was my choice, and I think based upon what we've seen at the moment, if current trends continue, he's going to have a hell of a breakout year.
Yeah, I mean, the rookie I'm watching is like the only spark in the Commanders' offense.
No, I can't. Oh, Dotson.
Yeah.
John Dotson, yeah.
I mean,
one thing before we.
I said, no, I've literally not seen much of this week. I saw a Thursday night game.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the London game. I listened to the Jets Steelers on the radio.
My son was watching Game Pass in the front on the way home as we were driving back.
I'll be doing that next week because I'm bringing a portable charger this time.
How good was the trick play?
Which one?
The fake punt.
Oh, the fake punt. I love the fake punt.
Oh my God, yeah.
My mate, who is a Vikings fan, called that.
Really? Nice.
He said, this is going to be a fake. Just like
it was a brilliant.
I called the first play of the game. I said
What
this
was
is going to be a screen pass to Jefferson for 10, and it was a screen pass to Jefferson for 11.
You got it. You didn't call it then. Get it right. Yeah, I mean, it was a brilliant game. I think this weekend's game is going to be just as good, especially the way Saquon Barkley's playing at the moment. Saquon Barkley, sorry.
I think if Dan Jones plays, yes.
But yeah, so let's roll on to Sunday Night Football, and it's down to these two gentlemen to talk about it with me and Ollie occasionally popping in for the 6 o'clock games, gentlemen. Shall we start with Cleveland at Atlanta?
I full on hate. I've decided this season, I've been banging on about it the last couple of weeks anyway. I just revel in whenever Cleveland lose. I will begrudgingly say that I think they were the better team. And I didn't think the Falcons played that well. I mean, I thought Jacoby Brissett played really well. I thought Nick Chubb played really, really well. And I thought the Falcons stole it, if I'm being really, really honest. I mean, they won the game, but the Browns were the better side, and I just want the Browns to lose at any cost, so I'm not really going to lose too much sleep.
I've heard a brilliant stat that Jacoby Brissett has only had 1 interception this season so far, and that was this weekend. Phil looks very puzzled.
Well, I think that was me. So I'm on the actual ESPN website, and I'm just looking at like the actual stats of the different games, and I'm just looking at. But go on, continue, Ollie. Sorry.
Do Cleveland at the moment actually really need Deshaun Watson? If Jacoby Brissett's playing really, really well at the moment,
Well, he's allowed back in the facility next week.
I mean, his QBR rating at the moment is 61.4. Arsenal, he's had 2 interceptions. I do apologise. Prior to this game, so he obviously had 1. He's thrown for 4 touchdowns and 830 yards. He's got no weapons apart from his running backs.
I was about to say, I think Nick Chubb is really helping him. Nick Chubb's having an MVP season.
Yeah. Nick Chubb has been brilliant. He had another 118 yards for 19 carries yesterday. I mean, I've seen one, the breakdown down the left touchline, or the far touchline, whichever you want to call it, was superb. I mean, he scored 5 touchdowns. He's rushed for 459 yards, which is the second most in the NFL at the moment. He is on a very, very good season. Commanders against the Cowboys.
So I'm just going to say one thing about this game. As I said, my phone died. So when my phone died, the Commanders were winning. And I was there like holding on to this hope that when I had the full-time instead, the Commanders would still be winning. For like 2 hours, I was like, please say the Commanders are still winning.
Shane, tell us about this game. Obviously, you know, it's...
Shave every day. Sorry.
Stop having a shave. You know, from what I've seen, Wentz has been picked off twice in the game. Mm-hmm. Cooper Rush has extended his unbeaten record. 4 starts, 4 wins now. This guy is a very, very good quarterback.
The Cooper Rush era continues in Dallas. Yeah, 4 starts, 4 wins. You can't ask for better than that. And as you were saying, Carson Wentz got picked off twice. He threw for 170 yards, which is it's all right. You've got the likes of Ollie's rookie, Jahan Dotson. He picked up a score. Fair play to him. Keeping up his momentum of being there or thereabouts since the season started. CD Lamb scored a touchdown as well, as did Michael Gallup, a returning Michael Gallup, shall I add. It's always nice to see somebody come back. Yeah, come back from an injury, score as soon as you come back. Fantastic. Let them know you're not finished. I love that. And the fact that, I mean, like, who have the Cowboys got next? Can they put another win together? No. No, they can't. No, they can't. Oh, well, sorry, Cooper. It was fun while it lasted.
So John's come in saying the Cowboys look good on long pass plays, but it was against the Commanders.
Yeah, he's right. Yeah, the point.
Ollie, when's your little bromance guy getting back?
Week 8 at the moment. Chase Young. And I saw a Chase Young jersey in the stand yesterday, so I was a bit chuffed with that one.
But just while we're talking about the Cowboys, I posed this question in the chat, and Phil's the only one that got back to me.
Go on then.
and that is, has the Dak Prescott injury potentially taken Mike McCarthy off the hot seat for the season?
So the Cowboys are 3-1 now. The Cowboys, run game aside, because we'll ignore the run game because Zeke's only had 49 yards yesterday and Tony Pollard only had 6. Wow. Their passing game looks so much better under Cooper Rush. You know, he went for 223 yards yesterday. CeeDee Lamb has gone up a level since Cooper Rush has stepped in. You know, he had a touchdown yesterday. Michael Gallup's so good to see him back after his ruptured ACL. Noah Brown has stepped up as well. He looks a really good wide receiver they've got there. Their passing game looks so much better under Cooper Rush. If Dak comes back and loses 3 on the bounce, who's going to be in the hot seat first?
Yeah, and Ollie, sorry to interrupt. I do apologize. I will say one thing about Dak. Currently, he is the highest paid cheerleader in AT&T Stadium.
I love that one.
Anyone watch a show? Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders?
No, I haven't seen that one yet.
No, I'm all right. I have a missus. My thing for that is full. It's fine. My quota for that is full.
I don't watch it, but I know
love that one.
Some people
Love
do.
that one.
Phil, I believe you've been asked a question by John.
What was this? Phil, if the Browns weren't playing the Sea Chicken, who do you want to lose? I'd actually want a massive asteroid to hit and then to wipe Seattle off of the map, and then no commentator ever referring back to it, and yet the league just remains a 30-team league.
But would you rather
that scene in the dark
Wilson was back there?
I'm pretty sure Chicago's due a second team at some point. So
I also appreciate that John called them the correct name.
My son calls them the Seagulls, and that's what I'm sticking to. Okay. Although I have now noticed my youngest is a Chargers fan, and we had some bingo cards made up, so they got to spot the shirts. Instead of just putting a nice cross through the Cardinals, he scrubbed them out, going, "I don't like the Cardinals." That was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Yeah, I think going back to what I said, Mike McCarthy's would be back under the hot seat again. Dak comes in and they start playing poorly, because at the moment they're not playing too badly, to be fair. I think they're playing okay, Cowboys. I don't think they're that bad of a team at the moment. Game of the week.
With Dak, yeah. Sorry, go on. He's fine.
No, go on, Phil. Shane, carry on. I will get it right.
No, we'll get it right one day. Just thinking, like with Dak, there's so much pressure because of the contract and so much pressure. You are our star. Go out and make plays. But with Cooper Rush, it's a case of go on. We don't expect anything of you. Just do your best and have fun, and that's what he's doing.
It's a bit like with Zappy yesterday. You know, but you know, he only 15 free throws, and there were no more than like 5-6 yards. But yeah, probably the game of the night: the Lions and the Seagulls. Sea Chicken, Seahawks, whatever you want to call them, don't know how to play defense. I think Antonio Brown plays D more than they do.
Someone's been reading Twitter today.
Thank you, RG3.
You've been waiting for that all day, haven't you, Ollie?
I have, mate. I have. I love that one. I have seen quite a bit of this game, I must admit.
I've seen bits. Hawkinson had a game. Williams had a game.
DK Metcalf went for a dump halfway through the game.
Yeah, got carted off for it.
Rashad Penny had a game.
I quite appreciated that he tweeted the clinch walk wouldn't have made it.
I love that one. Fair play to having players having a sense of humor about things. It was brilliant. You know, yeah, as you said, they were an absolute game. It was. No, you're scoring. Okay, we're going to score. You score, we score. It was a basketball game.
Even Geno Smith had a QBR rating of 132.
It was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Really?
Yeah.
He threw for 320 yards.
He was on my bench.
Goff threw for
the last time Geno Smith had a rating like that, he got up and turned the PS5 off.
You just did his stats on Madden. That's what he does.
Exactly.
Dan Campbell just commented.
Hey. Grit determination was an
Dan
incredible game.
Campbell.
She's far better looking than Dan Campbell, mate. Jared Goff. Jared Goff probably looking at the moment this season, probably the best he's looked in since he's come to the NFL.
Yeah.
He looked pretty good the season they got to the Super Bowl.
Was that due to his offense more than anything else?
What, Sony Michel?
He didn't have Sony Michel in the offense. Sony Michel wasn't around then.
Oh, you're right.
He was a Patriot, mate.
It's 'cause-
He
okay,
won
Sony-
a Super Bowl ring with the Patriots against the Rams.
Yeah, Sony Michel scored the only touchdown in that game, so I had Sony
Yes.
Michel on the mind.
Yeah, I mean, again, he had a QBR rating of 121 yesterday.
John does have a point.
Yep, he's right.
Yeah. Don't think we must review. No one expected the Lions to play as well as they are this season. They're 1-3. I don't think that really shows what the Lions are.
No.
The Lions aren't a 1-3 team, I don't think.
And I do think this will give the organization and the current coaching staff a lot of good credit with the Detroit fan base as well, because they are playing. They're not rolling over. They're high scoring. Yes, their defense is going to be massively lackluster, but this was always going to be a project that, I mean, they started rebuilding with Aiden Hutchinson. So even if they finish without a winning season, I think this is still promising for the Lions. And I also think because of how well Jared Goff's playing, I don't think his job is up for contention next year. I think they stick with him a little bit longer.
I mean, the Lions
I
have
think
scored
they
the
do.
most points of anyone in the league, and they're going to absolutely steamroll
That is an insane stat.
Bailey Zappe and the Patriots next week.
I don't know. Jack Jones is a hell of a corner.
Oh yeah,
I will add though, Hutchinson didn't play yesterday again for the second week on
Yeah.
the bounce. Now he's not played.
Oh,
I think
anyone
he
know what
would
the
have
issue
made a
is?
difference. I think it's the age-old ankle problem that seems to be going around the NFL at the
Okay.
moment. Yeah, I mean, I think Williams. Yeah, it is Williams. Yeah, Williams is looking like a top 5 running back at the moment.
Yeah.
He is very, very good. Jamal Williams, his rating at the moment, he's 276 yards. He scored the most touchdowns in the NFL. He's averaging 4.5 yards a carry, and he's had 62 attempts.
Okay, am I missing something here?
What?
I don't really get this comment.
I think the Bengals got the Texans next week, by any chance.
I'll have a look.
It
No,
could be John.
Bengals-
Could be just John taking the mix.
Bengals.
Oh, yeah, it just popped up to me that 2 has been ruled out for week 5.
Yeah, I mean, as Kay said, Patriots do have the Lions next week.
No, the Texans is playing the Jags next week.
Interesting. It does worry me because they are very high scoring offense, but they're also not the best at the run game defense yet. Without Hutchinson, they will struggle. So Hutchinson's not available. I think we'll get to them that way because our run game is really, really good at the moment. On to, I think there is a certain head coach in Indianapolis on a hot seat.
I'd just like to say, earlier this in the off season, I put Frank Reich number 1 on the hot seat list.
You did.
I don't
You
think he
did
even
indeed.
made your list, Ollie. Oh,
I don't think you did.
He said comparing last year Hawks versus Lions to be the same as this year Patriots versus Texans.
Can we
Yes,
mute John? Are we allowed to mute John?
Don't do that. He's the only fan we got.
I did say Frank Reich number 1 on the hot seat list.
It
Yeah.
was Derrick Henry outrun Jonathan Taylor in that game.
And Jonathan Taylor's now suspected out for week 5.
Yes.
Oh no! if he's out, that's it. That's it. Offense gone.
Kelly started it.
I agree. Completely agree on that one. I mean,
Is that agreeing with Kelly started it or agreeing with the fact that Jonathan Taylor is the Colts' only offense?
Colts only offense. Agree with that one. Unfortunately, I've not really seen much of this game. I have seen that Morley Cox has balled out again. or not again. You know,
Oh.
2 touchdowns for 85 yards. Fill us in on this one, gentlemen.
Go on, Shane.
Thanks, bud.
Hey,
Yeah, it was a good. Go on. Yeah, it was a good game. You know, Matt Ryan threw for 356 yards, 2 touchdowns, but he was picked off. I didn't expect the Titans to win this, but again, against a poor Colts side who are the very definition of hot and cold at the moment. And as I said, without Jonathan Taylor, if he's out next week, there's only so much of the load Mo Ali Cox and Michael Pittman can carry. And when they don't, who do the Colts play next week anyway? It's the Broncos,
And they
and
don't.
it's Thursday next week.
They have no Jonathan Taylor and no Shaquille Leonard. And
Good luck with that.
And just by the way, the Colts were the ones that let Mayaka down this week.
Oh,
I actually
talk
got
about
to do one this week.
I'm talking about mine.
I mean, I was lucky because I won my free bet builder on the Manchester Derby, so I ended up winning money.
Yeah, can we not talk about that as well?
We don't talk about that game.
But apparently Traylon Burks is out injured as well now.
Yes, Burks is out.
Yeah, that's quite a big loss. I mean,
Is.
there is a lot of injuries happening at the moment. I've never known a season get people injured this quickly.
But yes, I just would like to put it out there. I would again like to thank the NFL for putting a totally inconsequential game on Thursday night so I can actually get some sleep.
Another thing. Bobby Trees scored his first touchdown for Tennessee on yesterday. Fair play to him. I'm a big fan of him.
Nice, love that one. Robert Woods.
Yeah.
Oh, Bobby Tree. Yeah, okay.
Bobby Trees got him.
Yeah. Bloody hell.
Yeah, I was surprised that they let him go.
I'm surprised they let him go, especially if they've got no. Van Jefferson went down in the off-season as well, and so did Odell. Well, obviously they lost Odell at the end of last season.
I think they were hoping Allen Robinson would step up.
Tonight we'll find out. We'll talk about Monday night when we get to it.
Oh,
talk about them when we get to it.
Please, Travarius Ward, I was going to have him in his pocket.
Bears Giants.
Um,
So
I'm so happy the Giants won this.
how do I put this? I think the Giants' record of 3-1 is massively deceptive because, admittedly, I haven't watched them a lot this year, other than like the highlights from the games that they've been in. But watching the game, looking at the game a little bit closely, I mean, the Bears are epically bad. I mean, I'm not going to mention the 49ers much tonight anyway, but like, the further the season goes on, the more I just look at it and go, how the hell did we lose to this Bears team? And how are they currently as well have 2 victories next to the name? Because they were not very good at all. I mean,
I feel like you have to watch the Bears like this because you just know something's going to go wrong.
I want to like Justin Fields, but I don't. like he's not.
I heard Justin Fields is beginning to get a bit frustrated in the Bears.
Yeah.
You could see it, can't you?
I mean, Daniel Jones had a worse record. Had a worse quarterback record than Justin Fields.
I think Fields
he only threw for 71 yards.
Fields is starting to look like Tom Brady when things aren't going quite well for him.
I'm going to back Daniel Jones. Yes, he ran for 68 yards and 2 touchdowns. Yes, he went off midway through the third quarter, if I hear correctly, with an ankle injury. So he didn't get along. They have no receivers in New Jersey at the moment, you know.
I know, and that's why I'm looking at the record, going, how are they 3-1? Because I mean, what
I will say one thing. Just go on.
No, go on.
Just a quick one. I will say one thing. It's nice to see Tyrod Taylor back and nobody trying to stab him this week.
Yeah, I was going to talk about Tyrod Taylor.
It's going to be interesting, though. Sorry, Matt.
He will be a career backup from now to his end of his career,
which is a shame.
Yeah.
You know, he's a
good
quarterback.
I wasn't expecting to be saying this 4 weeks into the season, but I'm looking forward to watching the Giants play next week.
Isn't it so good to have Barkley back at his best.
Yes.
He is playing lights out. I mean, he even played Wildcat for a whole drive yesterday.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, 31 carries for 146 yards. He didn't score a touchdown at all. He did have a couple of receptions for 16 yards. I mean, the most receiver was 23 yards, and that's Daniel Bellinger.
But I do agree with what Phil had to say that they're probably I don't want to say worst 3-1 team,
No, I will.
but they're 3-1.
Worst winning record team this season so far in the NFL.
Their 3-1 team is quite deceptive. Good evening, Dave.
Evening, Dave.
Even David.
So Chicago signed on Saturday a kicker.
We went 4 for 4.
4 for 4. Not a bad decision. Not a bad signing on that one at all. He did really, really well. I want to talk about that last play.
Just one thing quickly. This has nothing to do with any of the games. But Shane, there's some noise coming out from 49ers fans that we might be going in for Lamar at the end of the season.
Hands off our quarterback. Pick somebody else, anybody else.
You can have Hoyer.
Didn't we already give him
Yeah.
to you?
He's been with us 3 times.
Have him back. Bring your receipt. Have him back.
Didn't we?
Can I talk about that
sign-
very last play before you go on another rant about bloody 49ers? 49 seconds.
Just 1 sec, Dave. We'll get to that later. We will get to
49 seconds. As the commentators said, it was like trying to call a hockey play.
Hold on. Is this the?
Yes, I saw that.
Oh,
The lateral.
I actually counted this. There were 8 laterals.
Yeah.
49 seconds. I think he hit the ground about 7 times. It was ridiculous. I mean, if you're going to do it, you go forward, not just because you're getting closer and closer to their end zone. It was.
Yeah, no, I'm not convinced they actually gained any yards on that play.
I don't think they did. I generally do not think they did. It was really, 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 really poor. The remaining unbeaten team in the NFL, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but Philadelphia Eagles have gone 4-0.
Again, I was the only person that predicted they'd win their division.
Yeah.
Probably
This was a good game as well, mind.
Jags went 14-0. Trevor Lawrence had a Trevor Lawrence game from last season. He had 2 fumbles.
He dropped the ball 3 times, didn't he?
He had 2 fumble losses, yeah. And he was very, 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 very poor.
Dave says the Eagles are a very good all-rounder team and they're going well. Or gelling.
They are playing really, really well. I mean, Jalen Hurts is having...
The Jags did give them a game and the Jags do look good.
Jags look very good. I mean, Jalen Hurts is having an MVP season.
Yeah.
He's already gone for over 1,000 yards this season. He's 5th in that. He's 4 touchdowns. He's got a QBR rating of 60.8. He's leading the NFL in rushing touchdowns, or he was prior to this game. I haven't checked that one as
I mean,
of
Ollie,
yet.
I think a top 5 me and you did do was quarterbacks taking a leap that needs to take a leap. And I think we both put Jalen Hurts on there, and he well and truly has.
I mean, he scored 4 touchdowns this season. You know, he's rushed for nearly, trying to do very, very, very quick maths, nearly 250 yards this season.
And
200 yards this season. Yeah.
And passed for over 1,000.
This guy is seriously in the MVP conversation. You know, he's big and brass. I almost went down that road. He's big, strong. He doesn't care. He will take hits.
And I do think AJ Brown is a massive help to him.
Yeah, it seriously helped him so much on that one. And they stopped that Rams run offense. That, you know, not Rams, Jags run game. Because they get that game going, it opens up the play for Lawrence to then pass to Agnew, Kirk, Evan Ingram and Melvin Jones and people like that. It gives them that. You know,
well, Agnew scored 2 yesterday.
Yeah.
You know, it's it helps them, and they stopped that game. If you could stop that game, I mean, the weather was absolutely shocking there. You know, they had the remnants of Hurricane Ian going through there, same as Baltimore, same as Chicago. And we do, you know, send our wishes out to Florida at the moment because they are they're having it really, really bad. You know, I've seen videos of people wading in the water up their neck height and stuff like that. It's horrible. But I'm starting to think that Doug Peterson started to go, oh crap, I've come back to Philadelphia here. There's a statue of me outside.
I did see something. The Jags fans said if they won, they were going to nick the Peterson statue and take it back to Jacksonville.
Yes.
I mean,
yeah, definitely on that
the
one.
streak might go on. The Eagles streak might go on next week. It might be 5-0 because they got the Cardinals.
Definitely a winnable game.
It's a very,
so we'll see.
I mean,
we shall definitely see it. But I think,
I mean, they've got coming up now. So they've got Cardinals, Cowboys, and Steelers, and Texans, Cards.
All winnable
They've
games.
got really next 5-6 games at Packers, which is week 8, 9.
Oh, Ollie,
they can win them all.
Do you have your fixture list this year?
No, I don't. I've just clicked
They're
on the
playing...
thing. That was No, it was up there at the start of the season.
Oh yeah,
I moved it to there mid-season, didn't I? I had a wall chart. People didn't know it, and I had it on there, and I kept looking around so everyone could get blinded by the light. You could see Eagles quite easily going all the way through until they go to Green Bay, and unbeaten, and Green Bay in like week 9 or week 10.
They could do the 9s in 2019.
It's
Steelers last year.
I think
I am liking this Philadelphia
8 or
offense.
9-0 in 2019.
There's a team went unbeaten last year, didn't they? For what long time?
I think it was the Steelers.
Steelers, yeah. They had a very easy schedule and then done really well. And then came up against a good team and in the Browns and got flattened.
Speaking of the Steelers, they played the Jets last night, and I listened to the whole game on the radio.
I said, before he goes into talk about this one, I said that the Jets' offense would be more dynamic under Zach Wilson back under center. And he's going to score a touchdown.
You were correct.
Received a touchdown.
Going back to a couple of shows ago when it was just me and Phil, we talked about a certain Mr. Pickett going under center. And from what I understand, the Steelers looked a lot more dynamic and a lot better with Kenny Pickett under center. I mean, rushing for 2 touchdowns himself, he brought the Steelers back and scored 14 unanswered points before the Jets did the same. But it sounded like a really exciting game. I'm not sure if you guys were watching it on Red Zone, but the radio definitely kept me entertained.
He did throw 3 picks, mind.
Yeah,
but we'll put that out.
I will. I'm going to stick up for him there because I have seen it. So 1 pick was a Hail Mary attempt in the last second. So we'll scrap that one off. That was an 80-yard throw because that was from the 30-yard line. It went to the back of the end zone. That was a monster throw.
As Kelly said, they were lifted when he came on.
Yeah.
That's what I understood from the radio.
One throw Claypool really should have capped, and I'm trying to get rid of him out of my fantasy team at the moment because he is shocking. He really should have caught it. It literally bounced off his number. And
the Steelers fans were pleased when Mitch was subbed off.
I've heard that as well. I've got a couple of Steeler fans, mates, and they were been crying for him since the Browns game. And the other one was, we could kind of put him up there. It was a bit too high for the receiver. I can't remember which receiver it was. But the receiver had his hands on it.
Yeah.
So if your hands on it, you catch it. Zach Wilson, you could tell there was a little bit of rust in that arm. He had a couple of picks, but he gridded himself to a touchdown.
But it was a really bad gritty.
Yeah, I've seen better.
But it was a great trick. It was a great trick play. Beautiful execution, and a cracking catch by Zach Wilson.
And it was a good throw from Barrios.
Yeah, it was.
He was celebrating before Zach caught that.
Yeah,
a lot of wide receivers are.
Yeah, I agree with that, Kelly. It was a game of 2 halves from Wilson. He was poor in the first half.
How big is this Fitzpatrick injury though? Because he went off injured, didn't he, last night? Did he come back into the game?
I think he did. I think he
Because
did.
if they'd have lost him and TJ Watt, that's their defense gone.
Yeah.
You know, which sounds a bit harsh, but yeah, it's yes.
Yeah, but Kelly, did you
Yeah.
enjoy watching 9 hours of football? That's a question.
Was it commercial-free football though, like we enjoyed?
Hey,
Hey, I do say to Kelly last night, I do miss. I was obviously watching Red Zone for the Patriots, or Red Zone Game Pass for the Patriots, watching American adverts going, they were so much better in America.
Yeah.
oh yes, 100%. With all the farmers adverts and the insurance adverts and what else? Things like Progressive and that. I love it. I love it. And fast food we can't get over here. That's it. You got him. You got him.
And Patrick Mahomes and Jake from State Farm.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
I
I've
like
just
that.
realised something.
What?
I'm missing his game along the bottom.
Oh, the Baltimore
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, the Baltimore game.
It's okay.
Do
We
you
don't
want to talk
about
about
that,
your
it's fine.
game?
It's okay. We don't talk about that. It's fine. Do I have to? Yes,
Yes.
indeed, I will. I
23-20
put on
defeat.
two. I know. Let me get to it.
You were 14-0 up, weren't you?
Yeah.
Let me get to that bit as well. I put on 2 bets yesterday. I put on a Man United win and a Ravens win double, right?
Oops. Oops.
Right. Okay then, Kelly. No worries. Apparently Marcus Peters thinks so, right? But me, that kind of offensive, aggressive call playing is what wins games. As we've seen with John and Lamar before, we saw against the Chiefs 2 years ago. It was aggressive calls on 4th down that win you games. So sometimes you're the bug, sometimes you're the windshield. You know, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. I will back John Harbaugh all the way. And I was on Twitter last night, and as many people calling for his head, I'm like, I will not tolerate slander. Oi! I will not tolerate John Harbaugh slander.
I just like to say something quickly.
Go on.
I feel like John Harbaugh recognised that the way to beat the Bills is to outscore them, not try and stop them from scoring.
Yeah.
I
think
don't
that's why he
like
made-
that play call, though.
I think that's why he made the call he did.
Play goal would have given them 23 points each. You've got the best kicker in the league.
Yes.
Take that kick.
I mean,
Stop them.
the
You
last
could
time we were
stop-
2-2.
isn't that-
Last time we were 2-2, we won the division, so I'm not panicking yet. Everyone's overreacting now. I'm not panicking yet. I mean, there was a ridiculous roughing the passer call on Brandon Stevens as well, which I'm not even going to get into. But at the end of the day, we weren't good enough, and it's on to Cincinnati Sunday.
Hey, that's our saying. That's Belichick
We
saying.
will.
On to Cincinnati.
I've set a precedent from last week. If you complain about the ref, you get muted.
I'm going to talk about the ref in a bit. Although we did get something very, very much on our favour at one point, but that's a different thing altogether. Yeah, I mean, Josh
Kelly,
only
just-
threw for
just-
213 yards.
Yeah, but he's not
Yeah,
going to have an MVP game every game. I mean, don't get me wrong.
No,
I
no.
genuinely thought after the first quarter, this was going to be like watching Josh Allen explode, even just for one game. I thought the Bills were going to lose by, but I mean,
But
second half.
Josh Allen proved that he can, grit out a game.
He does what Jimmy G can't, and that's actually make a mistake and then overcome it and make sure the team wins.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson did do one thing more than Josh Allen, though. He ran for 3 yards more.
mean,
Interestingly,
everyone
both had 11 carries,
But did
and
he run for a
Lamar
touchdown?
Jackson ran for 3 yards more.
Did he run for a touchdown though?
No, he didn't.
Yeah, Josh Allen did.
Doesn't my fancy
Oh.
team know it?
So Noah's buzzing because he's got Patrick as his QB, so he's happy.
Yeah.
That's a good choice.
So I will get this name, Duvernay.
Devin Duvernay.
Devin Duvernay.
So all about watching the ball. I think it bounced off of 2 defenders, didn't it, before he decided to pick it up on that one on the sideline?
That was Oh my word, what an unbelievable play. If we are doing play of the week, I'm going with that. Basically, what happened was the defense was converging on Lamar. He managed to shake off 2 defenders. I was thinking, here we go, he's going to get put in his arse by her. But no, he managed to shake off 2 defenders. 2 defenders, throw the ball. I think it was meant towards Bateman. It come off Bateman, come off 2 defenders, and Duvernay jumped and caught it and then went out of bounds. Unreal. If you can catch that play, watch it. It's unreal.
Yeah, I have seen that one. They showed it on the massive screen in a Beaconsfield service station.
That's like
fair
the
play.
first play. That's like one of the first plays I saw this morning on Twitter.
Yeah, it's
Unreal.
fair play. It's a really, really good really good concentration.
That's on Mahomes' little play that I'll talk about later.
Oh god, yeah. So I go to my youngest team now. My youngest son's team. So he woke up happy this morning. They almost tried to throw it away. The LA Chargers. Before anyone goes, who's he on about?
Gerald Everett
I
had
knew
a
who it
game.
was.
Gerald Everett had a game.
So did Austin Eckler. He had
Yes.
3 touchdowns,
did.
hat trick, didn't he?
No,
Yeah.
did I have 3 or 2?
Yeah, he had 2 rushing and 1 receiving. So
Yeah.
he
Yes.
had a 100-yard scrimmage game. But yeah, he was really, really good. I mean, who is that, Phil?
It's Jimmy Garoppolo.
Have you done now?
What have you done, Phil?
So Phil's
I'm
just sent a
Wimbledon.
picture of Jimmy Garoppolo. He looked a bit like Jim from American Pie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
Okay.
But yeah, Eckler ran a 100-yard scrimmage game. He had 3 touchdowns. His first touchdown of the season. Herbert, with a broken rib or whatever it is, still threw for 340 yards.
That's insane.
But they tried to throw it away, didn't they? You know, 17-point return before Chargers literally scored near the death to kill it.
Davis Mills, 246 yards and 2 touchdowns. He got picked off twice, but as I said, Davis Mills. But yeah, people like that who don't think are going to have a good game, when they pull shocking games like this out of their bag and make you think, oh, that's decent. He had a really good game against really good opposition. I mean, heavily injured opposition, but really good opposition nonetheless.
Yeah, I think the way they came out, I think it was like, JC Jackson's still covering from injury. Obviously, they've lost Joe Bosa. They've got they've got a heavily depleted defensive side of the ball. And that showed, especially towards the end of the game, because it was a case of them they're getting fatigued because they can't make the substitutions they do to bring in the better players. And these players are getting fatigued.
Yes.
And that's what's killing them at the end of the game. So if you stop them early on, your offense is going to get plays while they've got their players out injured. And I think that's the real bad thing about LA Chargers at the moment. I think they are going to struggle this season in a very competitive division. Shall we go on to the Cardinals?
Yeah, the Niners got the Panthers. Niners got the Panthers week 5, so I'm excited about that.
How much longer is Baker Mayfield going to stay at the helm? Is it Sam Howell time? Because obviously Sam Darnold is out injured at the moment.
Isn't Sam Howell at the Commanders?
Matt Corral. Sorry. You're correct, Sam Howell. Yeah.
His rating for the weekend was just under 62. He was down 61.9. 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, 22 for 36.
And a fumble.
And the fumble as well. I'm really sorry, Baker. I really wanted you to succeed. However, you're just not great.
I mean, the Blue Boys came out in Carolina. My friend was there, and I messaged him, "Are you booing?" And he replied with, "I really don't care. I'm a Packers fan."
I thought you said my son was there. I was thinking, wait, what?
Can we not have him on the show today as well, please?
Who?
Your Packers, mate. Matt Rule is another one that's in trouble, I think.
Yeah, he's a dead man walking.
Yeah, he's gone.
He's
Black Monday, he's gone.
I mean, I saw. Did I send the tweet in the chat that said apparently Matt Rule's lost the locker room already?
Yeah, we saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a few weeks ago now. No, a couple of weeks ago you said that, didn't it? I mean, it's, if you lose your dressing room, that's a bit, especially when you play soccer. If the manager loses the dressing room, it spells the end.
But I mean,
You
if you
know.
don't want, if you in this league, if you don't trust the coach who's calling your
Yeah.
plays, and you don't respect the coach who's calling your plays, it's an issue.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but more times often than not, you got to look at the GM. And the head coach is normally one of the last ones to go because it's normally the offensive and defensive coordinator that goes first.
But if Matt Rule did go, who'd replace him? Who'd come in and right to the ship? Because it's going to take somebody with a hell of a lot of experience to right this ship.
Jim Harbaugh.
Carl Shanahan would be a good shout.
Sean McVay?
Matt Patricia, they can have him, or Joe Judge. They can take Joe Judge because I'm actually pleased with Matt Patricia's play calling yesterday.
Jim Harbaugh, he definitely steadied the ship.
Oh, yeah. But does he want to leave college football?
I think he does. I think he wants to go back in the NFL.
Because he was talking about, his name was branded around for a couple of head coaching roles.
Yeah, the Raiders job.
Yeah.
But I mean, Christian McCarthy, despite being on the injury report list, still played. He still had a 100-yard running scrimmage game as well and a touchdown right at the very end, which pretty much makes it a little bit more respectful than it did. But Kyler Murray doing a little bit of magic again.
Kyler does have a bit of magic. He just doesn't show it enough.
Yeah, someone's right toggling him a bit too much.
It's because he's tiny. See, you can get him between their legs and stuff.
What's OC takes the mick out of him so much, watching his little legs running around was quite funny.
It's like trying to catch a chicken.
Oh yes, chickens being caught everywhere. Cardinals are going 2-2. I think that scoreline flatters them a bit too much. I mean, they've got Philadelphia next, but I don't know. I can't see them being Philly. They've got Sea Chickens next, and then they've got the Saints, and then they've got the Vikings. So there should be 2 out of 4 wins in the next couple of games, I think. I don't actually know.
They can turn over the chickens, but I'm not sure about the others.
But I will say, how nice was it to see JJ playing, despite what happened to him?
Yes.
Yeah.
His
heart issues, having his heart beat as well. Well, pushed back into play, put the beat back into place, wasn't it? He had a dodgy rhythm or something like that. I can't remember.
AFib, wasn't it?
Yes, it wasn't good at all, and it was good to see him back. Especially about stuff like that, guys. He had 3 tackles.
They should build a statue of him in Houston.
Yes,
and he's wearing the Iron Mask, the Peter Walton Award thing on again.
Walter Payton.
Yeah, Walter Payton Award. Do you want to do Denver next, or do you want to do my game?
Shall we take your game and then go into Denver?
Yeah. I'm going to start with saying, will someone stop playing Isaiah Wynn at right tackle? The sack that put Hyo out the game came from the right side.
Yeah.
The right side in the first half that I can't remember which Packers player was absolutely flattened Zappi. Absolutely flattened the bloke. I mean, if Dave's still watching, he'll back me up on this one. Second half, Isaiah Wynn was benched. We went, and I can't remember who it was. It wasn't Cannon, because Cannon was lying up a lot of the time a tight end on that right-hand side. We looked so much better on that offensive line in the second half. I messaged the group saying Zappi had an age and a half at one play. He literally had about 15 seconds, I think, to literally hold the ball. It was brilliant. Lineman and all that as well. Give Mac Jones that kind of time, you'll see a better playing Mac Jones. I will say we got away with one with the Parker touchdown. Should have had a second delay game on that one, but I'm not going to call that one, considering Kendrick Bourne was tripped on a crossing route, and that wasn't called. I mean, I'm not going to go on the refs on that one. Rogers second.
I was very close to muting you then.
Rogers only had a passer rating of 25 in the second half.
Ooh, bloody hell.
25. You know, his passing game, if it wasn't for Aaron Jones, I don't think they had a lot. I mean, he still passed at 251 yards, mind you. His rating was an 89.1. But I think we did so well. I mean, no one was expecting New England to go to Green Bay and take them to overtime, especially with a third-string quarterback who hasn't played in the NFL apart from preseason. When you're playing against people who are playing for their career,
I'd just like to give a shout out to Christian Watson, the NDSU wide receiver who scored his first NFL touchdown.
Yep.
And Romeo Dobbs did as well.
No, Dobbs
Romeo-
scored last week.
Yeah.
Underneath, sorry. Please.
Yeah, I mean, Dobbs touchdown. He's a big, strong guy, and he's going to do well in this
Dobbs is looking
NFL.
good.
Yeah.
Dobbs
AJ Dillon.
Dobbs actually impressed me in preseason against the Niners. He was very good.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, the second half, Aaron Rodgers, they were hitting the run game. Overtime, they were setting up for run plays, and Jonathan Jones was sitting 10 yards back off the wide receiver, and they're just going, nice easy play, nice 10 yards, and they're getting down the field, putting in the field goal range. I do think we have an absolute steal in Jack Jones at cornerback. He played brilliantly last week in Boston. He was really good, and he picked off Aaron Rodgers. Steal for the fourth round.
Was Jack Jones your player of the week last week?
No, it's Wise.
I knew he was a Patriots player.
Yeah, it's Detroit Wise.
So, Ollie, how do you feel about being 1-3 at the moment?
It's not the first time we've been 1-3 after 4.
I think it's an unlucky 1-3.
Yeah, I mean, against Miami, we never looked at the races, to be fair, most of the game. Against Ravens, if it wasn't for Lamar, if it was Huntley in the helm, I think we would have won that game. Your backup QB. If Hoyer would have been in the game for a little bit longer, John. Nothing wrong with 1-3. You'll be on in a minute, John. You can have your word. I think, and I've said this, if we had in that overtime, not Zappi, or even if we'd had Hoyer or, Mac Jones or even Hoyer at quarterback, it would have been a different story. Because they could have opened that playbook very more. It was a very, very condensed playbook when Zappi came in. Yes. It was very heavily run. As you can say, he only threw for 99 yards. He had 15 attempts. He didn't get picked off, mind you. His average throwing distance was about 6.5 yards.
Yeah, it was
6.2 yards.
He didn't exactly throw the ball far, did he?
No, and it was very safe plays. It was crossing routes. It was screens. It was, dump over the top to the running back who, it wasn't nothing.
It was a very Jimmy Garoppolo offense.
What they needed to do. This kid, but it helped having this kid in there because obviously Green Bay hadn't set up for him. They set up for Hoyer. They had a probably 95% chance that Hoyer was going to play. Very unlikely that Mac was going to play. So they would have set up their defense for Hoyer and gone for that. And Zappi comes in, got a bigger arm than the other two quarterbacks, but he's a very, very raw quarterback. And he is going to be a good backup around this league, I think, and he will do well as a backup. Personally,
nothing more though.
Nothing more to add apart from our offense looked a lot better when Isaiah Wynn pissed off to the bench.
I'm more meant to think Zappi will be nothing more than a backup.
I don't think either. Hoyer will probably end up as some kind of coaching assistant next year. I think it'll be Zappi, and they'll probably pick up someone who's been popping around the league for a few years as a third QB. I think. Shall we go into Denver?
Yes.
Are you happy, John? How are you feeling? We didn't put you down a predictor and you won.
I believed in you.
How good did Josh Jacob look more than anything else?
Very.
Yeah. Incredible.
Very good.
28 yards, 28 carries, 144 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 5 receptions for 31 yards as well. You're like this, Shane, Phil, sorry, but Russ doesn't look right in Denver, does he?
No.
Doesn't look happy there.
No.
That's
No,
right.
And another week where I'm blown by the fact that the 49ers lost to a team that are epically bad. Like, I generally can't get out of my head how bad Denver look, how bad Russell looks. And I'm not saying that the Raiders full on deserved to win outright, but they did.
You missed the important bit then, John.
yeah, you missed a good end.
The Raiders did deserve to win.
Did it? They were. I wouldn't. I mean, they were the better team. Are they a good team? I think the bar is way too low for Denver anyway to say that whether or not they're actually a major threat. But yeah, they completely outplayed, and it was one of those games where I thought everything came together. Everything came together. Yeah, and Derek Carr looked like a more than passable quarterback. Like, he looked good.
So it's taken Josh McDaniels, 5 months? Whenever they started going back into preseason, 4 months, something like that, May, June, to realise that you've got to get the run game going first in LA to give Carr the chance to throw the ball. Should have known that. That's how Brady's played over the last God knows how many years. Get the run game going, especially for a pocket style quarterback.
Pocket passer.
You've got to get that run game going first to open the pockets up, to lead the pocket, because they're not all going to go, boom, oh, crap, we might throw it over the back of us. You're going to get some back there. And Josh McDaniels is a very, very good OC. He should know that to have that understanding. But
I mean, John, you might be the best person to ask. If McDaniels is head coach, who's his OC? Because, I mean, I'm guessing in the next 15 minutes when we talk about a certain game on Monday Night Football, does McDaniels have an OC, or is he also calling the plays as well as, putting them together?
That's a good point.
Because that, I mean, again, the further that I've noticed how another McDaniels is doing in Miami, because McDaniels was our OC last year, and he managed to, Kyle can draw up the plays, but McDaniels knew how to execute the right ones at the right times.
Is Lynn
Whilst this year, Kyle is doing everything.
Is Lynn not calling? I thought Lynn was calling our plays.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, he might be the OC, but I'm pretty sure Kyle is literally calling all the plays.
Okay.
It wouldn't be surprised if Josh is calling everything. And trying to.
Because I think there's a massive, there's one thing drawing the plays up as a head coach and saying this is how I want the team to play, but it's another thing executing the right plays at the right time and knowing when to use them. And I don't think, I mean, that is the biggest thing that I've noticed from Kyle this year. I don't know whether or not that is the same about Josh McDaniels in in Vegas, where he was great. Lombardi, I believe, but I think McDaniels calls up. Yeah, exactly. So it's probably a similar thing to Shanahan, where he's calling the plays, but he's calling them as he drew them up, not as when the play needed to be called. So I think that's. I'm going to notice that he's going to be his biggest flaw this year, McDaniels.
I think so as well. You haven't got that fallback guy anymore.
Yeah.
You've got. It's all on you, mate. You can't just go. He told me to call that play. No, not Lewis Hamilton, but Bill.
Gentlemen, you were saying about Derek Carr having a good game. Well, even a blind squirrel catches a nut once in a while. And the fact that they've got the Chiefs next week as well. So, John, I don't envy you at all on the weekend, but I'm afraid.
However, I mean, especially in previous years, I mean, the Raiders have been the Chiefs' bogey team.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they've got them to 2 really good games last year. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, don't get me wrong, Pat looked good again. But I wouldn't be surprised if there's a hiccup. There is when the silver and black, historically wise, when the silver and black have a bit of a chip on their shoulder and they're a bit of momentum, they are very difficult to play against. When they're on a losing streak and they've gone 0-3, they are the easiest team to roll over. But when they've got a chip on their shoulder and they've got something between their teeth and they feel like the whole league is against them, historically, the Raiders tend to turn up.
If you want to, yeah, we can do that. That's fine. No worries.
Shane? Are you comparing the Derek Carr to the squirrel from Ice Age?
And like I said, if you want to go with that, we can run with that. That's fine. I don't even know that squirrel's name. Come on, Ollie, you were the parent. You've probably seen Ice Age.
Can somebody please get on Photoshop?
I've got Photoshop on this. I'll try and work it out.
Also, I mean, hold on. If I can get it to play really, really quickly, I didn't notice until the weekend that when Oakland score a touchdown, oh Jesus Christ! When the Raiders score a touchdown, after every touchdown they play the. Oh, they're still going to let me play it now. The Raider theme. Oh, it's not letting me play. I don't think I can play for now.
2 words, copyright strike.
Only because I just know it from like watching America's game. That every time they scored a touchdown,
Wait.
It won't let me play from my computer here. Hold on, see if I can.
What do you press?
You play it. It plays when you don't want it to play.
Stop pressing buttons, Phil. Stop pressing buttons.
Don't press the big red button.
I just hold on. Did I just press the wrong one, or
I believe.
Oh, it's not even letting me play.
The media teacher doesn't know how to play music.
Well, look at you, the banter boys. Look at that.
Anyway,
Hold on, I'll put it on my phone. Wait there. Because
shall we start talking about the Chiefs?
Yeah. Shall we move on to the?
I'll play the Raiders team over you guys. I'm not above doing that.
The repeats of Super Bowl 50, was it Super Bowl 55?
Yeah. Yes. Revenge of. Yeah.
What is that? No, you didn't for.
It's a theme that the Davises bought the rights for that they use on every Raider promo video ever. So if you watch the 77, 80, 83 America's game, you hear that all the way through the episode.
I thought you heard that before somewhere.
Yeah, like they played it like every time that they scored a touchdown. I was watching the highlights this morning going, oh, they're actually playing their own theme music throughout the entire game. That's weirdly self-serving.
That's weirdly self-serving.
Patrick Mahomes got revenge over Tom Brady.
Yeah,
I've just been chased around the field.
I've actually seen this game. So I feel like the first play of the game sort of sums up the game.
I haven't fully seen this one yet.
So it was a kickoff to the Bucks, who fumbled it, and the Chiefs recovered, and then the Bucks were just playing catch up from then onwards. Really.
Brady doesn't look happy.
Every week we've said that Brady looks happy. Now I know we're not going into. What was it every time the Raiders score a touchdown? So not play that often then. Well, not this season, mate. But you have won 3 Super Bowls. That's one more than I don't know. The Ravens have won.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Shall I bring up the bill for and his ring? Shall I?
What was that? I can't hear you under the 5 that we've won. What?
Yeah.
So,
there is.
Yeah, Brady does not look happy and content in.
Yeah.
Do you reckon he's regretting coming back?
Yeah, I was about to say. I was just about to say the same thing.
It's not like he's playing bad. He's just playing on a bad team, and it's kind of like a weird reverse Brett Favre syndrome, where you felt that Brett Favre in his last year was well past it. He was holding the Vikings back because the year before they got to the NFC Championships. Brady is still good to start for 26 other teams in the NFL. He's good. Ollie, we'd have him in a heartbeat right now, wouldn't we, in San Francisco?
I'd have him back and all. Yeah, I'd have him back as well. He'll get pissed off.
He's surrounded by a team that has no run game. He's surrounded by a team that, unless it goes to Mike Evans, that's kind of it. His O-line isn't as strong as it was. His D-line, he's lost quite a lot of that championship-winning side. And, we don't want to go too much into his personal life, but the talent is still there. He's just on the
Yeah.
wrong team. I just think this is how his season's gonna this is how his career's gonna end, with him still playing really well, but just on the wrong team.
Yeah.
I mean, he threw 385 yards. I mean, he 3 touchdowns. He only got sacked once, but he got hit 12 times. He got sacked
Yeah.
less than Mahomes did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
he's not Big Ben. Like he's in better shape than Big Ben. He's playing better than Big Ben. He's playing better than Drew Brees was. I mean, he's playing better than Peyton Manning was, even though he won the Super Bowl.
The issue is he's having to get rid of it so quickly.
Yeah.
He hasn't got the time anymore, has he?
No.
I mean, they will sort out. It is Tampa, even if under Todd Bowles. So it is pretty much majority of that coaching staff from last season. It's just Todd Bowles has stepped up.
Yeah.
So they will sort out. And Todd Bowles was their DC. Yeah, he was DC, wasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
So they will sort it out. It is Tampa, and Tom will sort it out. Yep, Phil's stripping. They will get this. Oh, okay. So they will get it sorted out, and I do think Tampa will get back on the track fairly quickly because Tom's not going to go. I'm just going to let this play out. I mean, they got Falcons next. They got Steelers. They got Panthers. And then they've got Ravens. They got 4 easy wins on the bounce.
I mean, they'll still make the playoffs because they're the best team in their
I was about to say, they're lucky they're in a weak division.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know, it could be another NFL least.
I feel like the AFC South has got that in the bag.
Yeah. I know AFC West is very deep.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, it's going to be, Mahomes magic again.
Yeah.
I mean, you sent it to us first thing this morning, his little dance and his little basketball pass type thing, wasn't it, to Clyde Edwards-Helaire?
I was like, if I might just put that as catch of the week just because of the play as a whole.
I mean, I've gone for a defensive back because unless anything happens tonight.
I mean, I've decided.
Saying that, it's literally just played on ESPN as we've just talked about that play. How weird is that?
So can we talk about how Matt Stafford is going to lead the Rams to 3-1 now, please?
We'll get to that.
Go for it. I'm happy for that one.
What do you reckon, boys? How do you think you're going to fare against the Rams tonight?
So, Jimmy,
we sat very quietly all night about this.
Jimmy seems to always pull it out the bag against the Rams, right? What's John saying? Tom's always dragged teams.
Unless it's a championship game, then he crumbles like cheddar.
When they're not playing well. This year, though, he has few. Yes, I agree with that, John.
100%, yeah.
Yes, but it's not a championship game. And you're talking about the Raiders being the Chiefs' bogey team. The Niners are the Rams' bogey team. In the regular season, we've won the last 4 games against them.
Including the one.
I think tonight we get beat and we get beat badly.
You know, we're 1.5 points. We're 1.5 point favorites.
I genuinely think we will get beat and we will get beaten badly. I do not think watching the last 2 games and watching. I mean, I'm going to sit on my soapbox now. I genuinely think Jimmy Garoppolo is the worst starting quarterback in the league. I do.
Can we get somebody on this? Can we just remember that? Can we just support whoever is the quarterback, please?
And that's fine.
Back the manager.
But Jimmy Garoppolo is not like, I am so anti-Jimmy now that I'm kind of over it. I don't think he's going to turn up, Ollie. I don't think he's going to defeat the Rams because, he did it a couple of times last year, but not when it actually mattered.
He got you to a playoff game
and then it was the reason why we
beating the Rams.
Yeah.
And was the reason why we lost.
Week 18 mattered.
Yeah, and then it didn't matter a couple of weeks later when he was the reason why we lost. I'm sorry. I didn't think I'd actually start this season as anti-Jimmy as it's actually become. I think the media, which is weird coming from a media teacher, has actually convinced me that Jimmy Garoppolo is the worst thing in the world.
So Jimmy throws for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. Will your opinion change?
No, because I still don't think he will.
No. The thing that surprised me is that the Niners are actually favourites for this game on the handicaps by 1.5 points.
Yeah.
ESPN's Football Power Index has LA Rams at 62.2 and you guys at 37.6 and the tie 0.4.
Does anyone actually know what the weather forecast is like in the Bay?
We can get that one.
Hopefully it's not raining.
Let's have a look.
I
There's
know. I feel like at Levi Stadium, we turned over the Saints. We turned over the.
You got no
Seahawks.
worries. It's sunny and warm.
We'll turn, we'll,
It's like
we'll,
22 degrees.
we'll turn over the Rams. We'll be top of the division at 2-2.
Cooper Cup hat trick incoming.
Okay, let's predict this game. I'm going to go Niners 27-17.
I'm going to go Rams 28-9 because we'll score 3 field goals.
Do you know what, right? Phil took the words out of my mouth then. I think he's absolutely spot on. I think you lose and you will just look really bad, really poor. Because, again, Jimmy G is not your franchise quarterback now. The only thing that grinds me about this guy, right, and it does, was last week they lost and he was smiling. Oh, my God.
And can
Against
I
your
just add,
divisional rivals as well.
Like, and I think that's, again, this is very much the teacher in me because I'm like last couple of weeks, and spoiler, I'm ahead of you now at my school, and I hate being lied to. Like, I would rather a kid just hands up and just say I messed up than that they're lying to you. And the reason why I'm getting around to this is Jimmy Garoppolo, whenever he loses, he refuses to accept responsibility for it. He's literally that kid that you've caught with the hand in the cookie jar, and he's gone, it wasn't me. Like, my hand's not in the cookie jar.
Very Shaggy, basically.
Yeah, so, I mean, he literally, he didn't take responsibility for the safety, didn't take responsibility for any of his poor decision-making. He doesn't take responsibility. And we can throw shade at, like, Trey Lance and whatever, but Trey Lance, every game that he's played, is like, that was my fault. That exact play there, that was me. This is what I was thinking about. I need to learn from my mistakes. Jimmy Garoppolo full-on threw Kyle under the bus. Massively threw him under the bus. And even live on air, when you see him swear going, your plays fucking suck, like, if you can lip read. He literally said that to whoever was calling the plays in his ear during the game.
I quite liked his comments on that. I don't remember what I said. But yes, thank you, John, for bringing that up. Debo is going to have a game. So we've got Niners win, heavy loss. Ollie?
Sorry, Mr. Hope. I am going to be going. You're going to be joining us at 1-3.
Yeah, the heavy loss or just loss?
I think you are going to keep with them until halftime. And then I think Rams will just up the pressure. I think they're going to start smashing that ball down your mouth. Play smash football. That will open up the play for Cup, for Allen Robinson, for the tight end whose names escapes me at the moment. Tyler Higbee. And I think you're going to lose by 10.
I would just like to circle back to John's comment about Debo. I do think Debo is going to have a game. He had an absolute game both times against the Rams last year. That's when the wide back came to fruition. So I feel like Debo will have a game, and I feel like we will win. Come on, let's have some positivity on this podcast.
No. I started 4 weeks ago. I full on said that we would win the Super Bowl before circumstances massively changed. I mean, we've lost Trent for a wee bit. We've lost Trey for a week. Well, we've lost Trey for the season.
Trent Williams is worrying, but I just think Kittle and Juszczyk are going to be on a lot blocking.
But all right, I want to give some a bit of credit to the Rams. I mean, as a 49er fan, this is going to be really, really painful. The Rams are there for the taking. However, as bad as Stafford can be in terms of like his touchdowns to picks ratio, Stafford can throw long, he can throw deep, he literally goes through his motions when he's actually, looking to pass the play, with passing plays, things that Jimmy can't do and doesn't do.
Yes, John, I love that. A shootout.
All right, John, I'll tell you this now. If the 49ers score over 30 points, all right, I will
get a Jimmy
buy
tattoo
a Seahawks jersey.
No, you got to get a Jimmy tattoo.
If the Sea Chickens can do it. I'd just like to give a shout out to our defense.
Oh, yeah, our defense is great.
We have conceded the least amount of points this season so far.
Have we also scored the least amount of offensive points as well?
Granted, we have played the Bears, Sea Chickens, and Broncos, so it's not against.
Three
It's
really
not-
bad teams.
It's not like we played very high-powered offenses, but our defense has been playing lights out. And if they can do that again this week, we have a real chance.
I'm sorry, and I really want the 49ers to win, and I really do. I just have no faith in Jimmy Garoppolo.
However, if we do lose, we go to 1-3.
Uh-huh.
Our next 2 games are Panthers and Falcons.
Yeah.
So whatever happens,
Winnable
you're going
games.
to be at least 500,
Hopefully,
or you should be at 500. Yeah.
we're not going to be 1-5, Phil.
I was going to say, 1-5.
Better game than Jimmy Garoppolo.
Before the Niner boys get into even more of a rant, I think we should come to the end of this podcast tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
Can we end the show the same way we started it?
Doink.
I was
Or
more
Sweet
thinking
Caroline.
Sweet Caroline, but
Yeah, we'll do it that way. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be back on Thursday night at 8:30. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining in. And off to LA Rams, and stay safe all.
Let's ride.